If you want to walk into any situation without flinching, then stay connected here because I'm going to share 3 key principles that I've implemented into my life to create unshakable confidence. Things that I've learned in Ranger School, through professional baseball, and combat in the Middle East. So your brain was built to survive, and fear is its greatest weapon that it uses to make sure that you stay alive. And see, fear is a beautiful thing. It gives you a signal that tells you, hey, you're about to walk into something uncertain. You might not need to go that direction. You should stop what you're doing because you're at risk. And so we don't run away from fear, we acknowledge it. And when we acknowledge it, we focus on 3 key areas to rebuild our confidence so that we can operate even in the midst of fear. The first key principle and area of focus is what I would call the book answer. See, as a professional, you at a minimum could put in the study time, to put in the effort to know the book answer. And in the military, especially at Ranger School, there was no room for error. You, at a minimum, were expected to have extreme clarity in a chaotic situation. You must know your book answer. The book answer will give you the confidence that you need to step into the uncertainty and bring clarity to solve that chaos, to put yourself in a position to be successful. And so we have to have confidence, and we have to put in the time to know the book answer. And it's as simple as saying, who's been there before me? Is there a mentor that I can go talk to? Is there a coach I can hire or a consultant I can hire that knows how to solve this problem for me? Is there a book that I can go buy and read where the model is presented that I could use on day 1 to go answer that problem or solve that chaos? Is there a podcast, a YouTube video? No matter what it is, we need to know the book answer. The book answer will give us a place to start. It will give us a solid foundation that we can be confident from, where we can bring clarity to that chaos. As a young officer coming up through West Point and then the officer basic course, and then just the pure due diligence of who I was as a professional, I gave learning the book answer the time that was required. And the thing is when I went to my unit, guys had more experience than me. I had never deployed. I'd never been in the Army before. I was brand new. I had to look to peers, and I had to look to mentors, and I had to look to my soldiers to learn the reality of what my job was. But if they ever had a technical question, or if there was ever a question of whether I knew what my job was, that was quickly solved. They had confidence in me because I knew the answer to everything that I was supposed to know. They didn't expect me to have experience. They expected me to know the book answer. And because I was willing to put in the work ahead of time, I had the confidence of doing my job well because I at least knew that. The second key principle, or the second area to focus, is getting your mental and physical reps in. See, I think it was Malcolm Gladwell that said you had to get 10,000 hours before you were truly an expert in whatever it is that you're doing. I 100% buy into that. When I was a young child, I believed that being a professional athlete was going to be my way to a higher level of living, and that I truly believed that if I put in the reps, that if I practiced hard enough, that I would get there. And so to get those reps, it looked like me going into the backyard and just hitting off the tee over and over again. And I'll tell you how much I did this. My father bought me an old shrimp net and hung it over a couple of 2x4s and put a light out there. And so I would come home from school or practice. I would do my homework as fast as I could. And then I would go out into the backyard, turn on the light, and I would hit off the tee until it was time to go to bed. And the funny thing about this shrimp net was after you hit it enough times, the ball just went right through the shrimp net. And I had this bag of zip ties that I would zip tie the holes closed. And by the end of my career in baseball, before I left to go to college, my whole shrimp net was literally just a bunch of zip ties all tied together. My batting gloves, I had hit off that tee so many times that my batting gloves were so ripped to shreds, and I was using athletic tape to cover up the holes so that I didn't get blisters on my hand, that my batting gloves looked like gardening gloves because it was nothing but old dirty athletic tape. I mean, my point is that if you give it enough physical reps, you can step up to the plate and take a hack at a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and have so much muscle memory, have so much training in your body physically that you would have the confidence to just step up and do it. You let the natural ability flow through you. and it gives you confidence. Now, there's another type of confidence beyond just the physical reps of things, and that's visualization. The Army does this in an extraordinary way because what we do is we set up a terrain board where we map out exactly what the terrain looks like, the path that we're going to take. We even put little figurines to show what's offense and what's defense. And what we do is we go phase by phase of the operation and say, what if? What if we get attacked by the enemy here? What are we going to do? What if we get attacked by the enemy over here? It is a great way for you to think through whatever it is that you're about to set out to do, to accomplish, and just visualize the what ifs. And when you visualize the what ifs and you talk through or think through what it is you're going to do if certain things happen, then the novelty of it all goes away. You have confidence because you've thought it all through. You know the most probable course of action, you know the most dangerous course of action, and you've put in the reps to truly understand not only that I'm prepared physically, but I'm also prepared mentally for whatever comes at me. And when you do that, you will have the unshakable confidence. And I'll tell you, even to today, I'm visualizing. As a young child, I was visualizing stepping up and hitting a home run, but even in the major leagues, when I would be on deck, I would be standing there and I'd watch the pitcher. Now, it wasn't my turn to bat, but I would watch the pitcher and I would think about and visualize what is it that he's going to throw first at me. And if it was inside, what was I going to do? If it was outside, what was I going to do? I mean, I visualized while I was on deck how I would respond to different pitches that he would throw at me. And then that way, when I stepped into the batter's box, I didn't have to have a moment of uncertainty thinking, well, what am I going to do? What do I think he's going to throw at me? I stepped in with confidence knowing that I had thought it through. And this is what I do in my business today. At the beginning of every single day, I look at my calendar and I visualize what I expect to happen in every meeting that I have, in every time block that I have. I think about what could go wrong today. And I think about what obstacles could present themselves that might stop me from getting done what I need to get done. And so when I start out in my day after visualizing, there's not really anything that you could throw at me that I haven't really thought through. And even if there was, because I'm so prepared in all the other ways, I still have confidence to make a decision and respond instead of react. And the third key principle, an area of focus in my life that brings me confidence in every situation, is prayer. Now, I didn't start off this way. As a young man, I didn't lean on prayer as much as maybe I should have, and that I know today would matter. But when I was in combat, things were dangerous. And they weren't dangerous because I wasn't trained. It wasn't dangerous because my soldiers weren't capable and lethal and thoughtful, or I wasn't prepared for the mission. All of that was true. We were the most capable, lethal, prepared unit that you could be before stepping out into every combat mission. But the reality of it is it was dangerous. We could lose our lives, and one bad decision could cost me or one of my soldiers' lives. And so I was afraid. Fear crept in because there was so much uncertainty. There came a point in combat where I couldn't know the book answer anymore. I couldn't visualize more, get more reps in. I mean, the team was 100% lethal, 100% trained, 100% competent in the book answer and knowing what they were supposed to do, when they were supposed to do it, and how they were supposed to do it. I was as prepared as I could possibly be as the leader for the patrol. And at that point, that's when I started to lean on prayer. Prayer gave me a whole new level of perspective on things. I didn't have to look at the world or the mission from a worldly context. I was able to look at it from a spiritual context, which gave me a peace that didn't make sense. And that peace would translate into confidence because I knew that things were going to work out the way that they were supposed to. My prayer wasn't one of, please protect me or please save me. My prayer was one of power. It was, Lord, make me the leader that my men need me to be. Help me to remember all that I've learned. Help me to be dominant on the battlefield, and help me to be lethal when I needed to be lethal and loving when I needed to be loving. And when I prayed those words, I literally felt the energy enter into my body that gave me the strength to walk out in front of my men and be confident, and not only be confident myself, but pour confidence into them so that they were able to step out onto a battlefield where they knew that their life was at stake. And it gave us a level of confidence beyond what a book answer and beyond what reps could ever give you. And it is the third key part of creating unshakable confidence. So unshakable confidence doesn't happen by accident. It's an intentional process, and you need to focus on it and create it yourself. And three areas for you to focus on is knowing the book answer. It's getting in your reps physically and mentally, and it's implementing prayer into your life so that you see the world from a spiritual context. When you do those things, you will have the confidence to step into any situation, in any room, or answer any questions with full clarity and confidence the way that your team needs you to be. Hey, so if you like this content and you want more of it, go into the show notes and sign up for our newsletter. And every Friday, I'll send you a Steady Leader note on how I'm building myself up every week.